Good evening, everyone. All right. I think most of us are here. I know I'm aware that some of our ministers have emailed us that they're not going to be, they'll be away or not present for this evening. So so everything that we will discuss here, just so you know, before we start, everything will be emailed. You know, the items, especially some of the new instructions that will be given. So everything will be emailed. So just in case, if there's any question from the people that are not here, please extend that information that they will get this, okay? So I think everyone is here. Let's begin first with our prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty Father, we thank you for the gift of our faith, and we thank you also for the gift of your ministers here in St. Catharine-St. Margaret Church. Lord, as we gather here this evening, bless our conversation, bless this meeting, that we may be able to learn more about you and to continue to establish that personal relationship with your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Continue to give us the grace that we need, the strength and the courage in order to serve you in the ministries that we fulfill. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. So, my dear friends, to just kind of like give us a little bit of a roadmap in this meeting, we will have to discuss like certain points. So, of course, we have the ministers of the lectors, those readers, the ministers of the Eucharist, the Eucharistic ministers, the ushers, and of course the sacristan. So we'll discuss every ministry, and we will have some, of course, new instructions that will be given to us. So, but first and foremost, let me just say this, that on behalf of Father Damien McElroy, our pastor here, we're very thankful for all that you do. As I always say, maybe you've heard me say this, you know, as a priest, as a young priest, you know, I've realized very early that just us, we can't do it. We need some of your help. And we're very blessed here in St. Catharine-St. Margaret Church that we have abundance of ministers who are willing to step up and join us and to take part in this ministry and the mission that the Lord has given us. So thank you so much. Know that you're very appreciated, and we couldn't thank you. Again, as I say, also, words of thanks are not enough to express that. So thank you for being here today, for taking a time to join us. One of the goals, actually, as Father Damien and I have talked, really at this point in our parish life, the goal is to have a minister in every liturgy. So I want everybody to know that. You know, every liturgy must have lectors, must have Eucharistic ministers, of course, sacristan, ushers, and gift bearers. That's the ideal picture that we were trying to achieve in a way. So we know also the reality is that we have some masses that we don't have, in a way, enough people. You know, sometimes there's a challenge. I know in some other masses, I know we don't have enough ushers. I know in some masses we don't have enough lectors. So that's why we're trying to make a system, and even for you to maybe even kind of like, you know, be aware of that, and you'll be also kind of like be able to plan and to maybe even be willing to help out in some other masses that we don't have enough ministers. So the other reality also is that I recognize that we have, you know, ministers that have like set times, right? And I understand that. That's not, there's no wrong or right in terms of that. So of course there are ministers that are can only go to a specific time because perhaps a circumstance in their life, maybe somebody they're taking care of. So I recognize that. But also, we have some ministers that can participate in a way, I call it like floater. You don't have a specific time to go to, and you're able to do that. So actually, what we're going to do, I think you've already signed up on our sign-up sheet with all the emails and contacts, right? So maybe to just, I think maybe this is a moment also to just let us know on your end to let us, the team, know, especially on that the ministry scheduler, if we have that email there, so that we'll take a survey, to those ministers that are able to go on some other masses and to minister there, and those who are just have a fixed schedule or mass, because we want to know, we have the survey, and then we'll be able to tap those who are able to go to other masses to help us when a situation arises that we don't have anybody in that mass. So at least we will have that cushion in a way. So the other thing that we want to address is we have for the lectors. The lectors, actually, how many lectors do we have? Just raise hands. Okay, so lectors. Thank you. One of the things that we have noticed with the lectors, one of the new instructions actually, is that, when we do the reading, so usually this is pertaining to the weekends, most especially. So the weekends, we will have 2 readers most of the time, right? And usually what we do is the first reader comes up, bows, and goes and read at the ambo. And then after they read, they exit in a way. Yes, we'll kind of demonstrate that a little bit. So after the reader reads the word of the Lord, thanks be to God, and then they go. And then a cantor comes in, coming from the side. And so the new kind of we're just trying to somehow choreograph it more, more smoothly in a way. So we will do the bow at the same time by the cantor, and then the lector exits going back to the pew, and then the cantor sings, and then the second lector would come up after the song. So the cue is after the music, of course, and then you come up, and then you go here with the second lector, and then bow, and then go like that. And then, do the reading, and after that, proceed back to your pew. So that demonstration is just, I know it's a little bit of a change, especially for the lectors. Not so much, not too much. But I think with that kind of coordination, we will have more a clear view in a way on the sanctuary. It's not going to be a lot of movement and uncoordinated movements also. So, is there any question with that, Missy?
Father, at the 12 o'clock mass, we've been sitting right over there, both 2 lectors, and we get up, we do the thing, we sit back down again, and everything. We can't do that anymore?
So actually, I think several months ago, we suggested that for all the lectors, we will reserve actually at least the first pew.
One thing I want to bring up also is that for both first pews are kind of semi-reserved for people that are older and infirm.
Okay.
And those, and it can get crowded,
For the 12 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another reason why maybe we weren't using the pews or anything like that.
Okay, because actually what we talked about also, Father Damien, he would like is eventually we will clear this, we will remove the chairs and the kneelers here, actually, because, we wanted to be clear, for the sanctuary, and especially when we do some things here, we're going to get the oil, or just kind of like in some liturgies, we have to use that space. We will have to kind of have like a clear, space there. So that's the goal, actually. Yeah. So, Kathy. Yes. So the idea actually, so again, the idea is to have this first pew reserved for the ministers, right? So I think we've been doing that for some other masses. Most of you have experienced that. So we have it here, and we have both sides. So either or, you can sit here or you can sit over here. But the idea is to have the first pew for the ministers, so that you'll be coming from. So the symbol really of that is you're coming from the congregation. It's not a separate kind of thing. And also, especially with the setting here, especially for St. Catherine's, we have a very limited space. And really, the ones that we want to be on the sanctuary will be, the clergy and the servers. So. Correct.
Are they supposed to just sit at the altar until they finish, or say the announcements, sit in the pew, and come back up?
So I think in the other masses, we do, they're sitting down in the pew, and then they just come up to do the announcement.
And then sit back down.
Yes. Peter?
Is this choreography, to describe it any different if there's only one lector? What do we do between the two readings?
So it's same thing. Same thing applies. So you go back to the pew. If there's only one lector, you go back to the pew, and you bow with the cantor goes and do the psalm, and then when you turn to read the second reading, same thing. You come up, bow with the cantor, and then go and back and read again.
St. Margaret's also?
Same thing. Yes. So that's going to be applied for.
So just so you know, that both churches in the front pews, we are having reserved for ministers signs being made.
Yeah.
And therefore, that row will be
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about the people that are in?
I know change is hard, but we
No,
do
it's
need
not
that
change
first
time.
pew.
It's not easy for them, and we also give
So-
communion to the people who can't get up.
We will actually, so what we're going to do, like for example here, specifically, what we're going to do is, if this side will be reserved for the ministers, this could be reserved to the ones that are, like for example with wheelchairs and, some challenges. And actually, even with the communion, so we'll address that later on, we have also a plan to do that. So just to kind of give you a heads up, for those who will be having a hard time getting up for communion, we will have them just sit down and stay there, and a minister will go there to give them communion. Yes. Correct, yeah. Jim, before you just deacon Paul.
The only thing that I wanted to say is that for the lector, if they're sitting in the first row, usually they get waved on when to start the announcement. So they should look back at us just to make so that they'll be the way they were ready. Sometimes they wouldn't know if their back's onto us.
Correct.
To get up. So just make sure you turn around and
Yeah.
look back.
Yeah, I think the very good cue with that is, like, for example, the mass is 5 o'clock. So when you go look 5 o'clock, you turn around and see and look for the priest over there. So I think that's, we can do that. Thank you, Deacon Paul, for that point. Joan, before you, just Jim.
Why don't you just have the lectors go to the second pew? This way the first pew can prefer people in front.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Yes, yeah. So just one suggestion. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to be the specific pew, but what we're trying to say is that at least it's going to be within the front, within the reach for going to the sanctuary. So, yeah.
Giving them communion on second pew is not particularly easy.
Yeah.
So we'll put the ministers in the second pew.
Yes. Yeah. And then, for example, correct. Yes. Yeah, so with the first two pews on either side, we'll reserve that for the people that are the infirm. Yeah, so no problem. And even that side and those side can also be reserved for that. I know here in St. Catherine's, I've seen some people, disabled people in terms of with the wheelchair, they go over there, and even on that side also. So again, we'll do that. Yes, definitely. So we're making actually some reserve sign for those who are infirm, and a reserve sign for the minister, so people will know where to go. Okay. Any more question on that? Okay. I have three. Okay, so let me just go to Bob, and then I'll go to Anita.
You may have already said it, but you want all the Eucharistic ministers in that first row as well?
Yeah. So actually, not necessarily in the first row. So we'll reserve the second row, maybe on this, either side for the ministers, Eucharistic ministers and ushers. So, but everyone who will be ministering on that particular mass will be at least in the front pew, or second pew. Let me just go to Anita, and then I'll go here, and I'll go here. Okay.
Just saying, I don't know what you're saying.
Anita.
So I just want to validate what Missy is saying.
Okay.
For some reason, at the 12 o'clock mass, we get a lot of handicapped people, and they go across the four sections.
Yes.
All have various forms of.
Yes, and this is you're pertaining also especially for the communion time, right? Yes. Yes.
So that first row is
Yeah.
really important to have that little mini row that Elise
Mm-hmm.
for the two lectors, that would be ideal as a suggestion to have the lectors
Yes.
come from that little mini row.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all right to deviate.
Yeah, definitely. And again, as I mentioned, we will also have a strategy for the infirm people, that especially for the communion time, that they shouldn't be getting up, especially if they're and then somebody will be going there for the ministers will be going there to do that. Okay. Yes. Good point. Yes. 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 Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good point, actually, because we have several masses. I believe it's 8 and 12, of course, Monsignor Lady, that we have regularly, have a visiting priest. So that's a good point. Thank you for that. We will also brief all the visiting priests that we will have, and then actually with that, on that note, the sacristan. So we will have discussions also with the sacristan. The sacristans will also be the one, as Father Damien had mentioned, they're going to be the floor directors actually in terms of that. So, we will reinforce that. Thank you for that. So, Nat, we'll do that instruction for the visiting priest also, for everything that we're doing here and all the changes. Okay. I think Carol, yes.
Could you just repeat how lecture one starts,
Yes. Okay, so let me just recap a little bit. So we have two lectors, right? So usually lector 1 will do the announcement, and lector 2, if there's no deacon, reads the intercession, right? So, so the first, or not the first pew, but maybe the second pew, but here in front, we'll have a reservation for the ministers, the lectors, the Eucharistic ministers. And so when, as Deacon Paul also mentioned, once you look at the clock, the watch, it's time, you kind of like stood up and stand up and check at the back. And usually with my situation, I usually kind of like, do this or do this, So you get up and do the announcement. So you go bow, do the announcement. And once the announcement is done, you go back to the pew, right? And so the Mass begins, first reading. So you get up again, and then same thing, same process, bow. You go back to the ambo, read the readings, the word of the Lord, thanks be to God. And then as you exit, and it's always good to kind of like also, as lector, you always good to, because the most of the time, or I think, Billy, all the cantors now are going to be on that side. Same thing with St. Margaret. So you look at the cantor, and the cantor is ready. So it's just going to be like, a matter of coordination. And then you just go like this. The cantor goes from here, you bow, and then you exit. The cantor goes and does the responsorial psalm. And, after the responsorial psalm, the cantor, as she exits, the second lector will be the cue. That's going to be the cue. When the music stops, that's going to be the cue for you to get ready. You can get up and then do the entrance here. Same thing. Here's the cantor. You bow. Cantor goes over there. The second lector goes to the pew. All right? So I think pretty much clear. Everybody's we get that. Joan.
May I say what I like about it?
Yes.
Is this I see this as liturgical reason of people participating in it.
Correct. Yeah. So actually, like the symbol of that also is that it's coming from the congregation. The ministers are coming from the congregation. There's not a separate kind of a source in a way or place that they're coming from. So it's coming from the congregation. So that's actually the symbol of it. So that's why it was developed also, that kind of formation. So, Louise? Yes, so good point. So yes, for those, so this is pertaining really, at this moment, we're focusing on the weekend masses. Okay, so for the daily masses, we have a little bit, we're gonna, also meet and iron that out. But just so you know, the weekday masses, we have a little different system in a way, and which is, we're gonna polish also. But so far it's been working. So this is just for the general and especially pertaining to the weekend masses. Okay? Now.
So the goal also is that the cantor will be reviewing the responsorial psalm before we begin each mass. So we've started that at some of the masses, but I don't believe all of them are doing that yet. Billy's going to make note of that and add that at those masses. So that'll be your cue also as the first reader. The cantor will go up first. They will sing the responsorial psalm a few times. Ask the congregation to join in. They will go back to their spot, and that will be your cue to do the announcements at the beginning of Mass. Okay?
Yeah, that makes it easier. Thank you, Nat. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The reading. Yes. Yes. So the other thing that we encounter also, I know, in fact, just last Sunday, we have sometimes when there's no deacon around, then the second lector would step up to read the intentions, right? Prayers to the faithful. And so the difficult part there is the pronouncing of names. I'm sure a lot of you, the lectors, can relate to this. So sometimes there are names that are, especially last names that are very, very challenging. So it's always good to kind of to practice that also. So you'll be able to do that because, especially later on, I'm going to discuss this with Deacon Mark and Deacon Paul. At the moment, there are active deacons. We have Deacon Ed, of course, and Deacon John, but they kind of semi-retired. Deacon Ed also actually more so retired. So on the clergy end of things, we're gonna coordinate also, and one of the new things that we're going to do, and I've discussed this with our lovely deacons here, Deacon Mark and Deacon Paul, that we will have the scheduling. So a month ahead or even a couple months ahead, you'll know this. So especially for the sacristan, again, this is the sacristan's kind of more of a role that they'll let you know. So once you check into the sacristy, you come in, and we have the form, right? You initial your name because you know that you've signed up to that, to that mass, and the sacristan will be the one to fill you in. That's going to be, the time where when you come in, the sacristan will say, by the way, this mass there's no deacon. So lector 2 be ready to read, the intentions. Okay, so and then at that time you'll be able to have a little bit of a moment to practice, or even make a note, pencil to just to pronunciation. Okay, so we'll do that. So I think that's one of the points also that we wanna add to the lectures. Nat, can you? Okay, all right. So I think I've observed that also. So another thing, another situation is the adjustment of the microphone. So before you speak, so Billy, is there any instruction for that, like the proper adjusting of the microphone, or no adjusting at all?
Good to see everybody. I want to make this point follow. There's a saying that we always use when people have been involved in a lot of public speaking and a lot of events where people use a microphone. You're not used to using a microphone. Many people deflect on the microphone. The saying that I like to use is microphone is your friend. Microphone belongs to the front of your mouth, not pointing to the top. In this church, I walked many times and I see the mic heading out. And I know sometimes this might be a little difficult, it's still a challenge. We changed the bass a couple times, we changed the mic holder a couple times. It's still not exactly what I want, but we were really wrestling with St. Margaret's. Let's come together. Good evening. Now, the microphone at St. Margaret's, let's start with that one. That mic has a longer adjustment on it, a longer neck, and it's much more available to the lion, so you don't have to have your mouth right in front of it. Nor do you have to dress it like it's a snake. I've seen many people just trying to get the adjustment on the mic. This one especially, it's a short neck.
Yeah.
Just do your best to be gentle with it.
I think
Where the mic
this one has actually this, right? Yeah. You don't have to move the bass.
There's some
Yeah.
people that are not as tall as Greg. Some people have a little bit of difficulty getting the mic where they want it. But once again, you're heard, you gotta trust that you're heard. Do your best to get your mouth in front of the mic. Okay? But it doesn't really require a lot of strength. Just gently touching the mic. That's pretty much it. Margaret's, like I said, has a lot of volume on it now, there's no problem. You see me walking around with an iPad over there, we now have control of the whole sound system from an iPad. We replaced the components, the whole control system for the sound system there. I mix everything from an iPad. Rather than having to run to the back and go to the board or something like that, it's completely mobile. I can go from the wire lock, I can go to the download. So you'll see that happening in Italia. I haven't shown how to do that yet. It's pretty much it. That's it. Just trust that the mic is really rich. This one, keep it in front of your face. Don't use two hands. All right, that's it. It'll go where it's got to go. It'll be heard. Okay?
Thank you, Billy. I think what you're pertaining with the height is the appropriate term is vertically challenged. I'm vertically challenged. So thank you. And one last thing for the lectures. This is just again a suggestion, an encouragement. There's no way, shape, or form we want to force you to do this. But one of the things that we found also, me even when I was a seminarian, when we were taking the preaching course, we have to do 2 semesters of preaching course, and when we're preaching, somebody will take a video and we'll review it in the class. I think the soon-to-be deacon Jim will do that. So, and then you get criticized and things like that, and then they'll point out, maybe you're lacking eye contact and things like that. So, my point is, most of our masses, especially the weekend masses, it's all live stream, right? So we want to encourage you, if you want, again, I know it's a little excruciating at first, to look the masses that you've served, like especially for the lectors, and then maybe rewatch that, and then see maybe where you can improve, or maybe this is what I should do, or maybe some more projection. Maybe I have a little lower voice, just to kind of make it a little bit more the projection, of course. So that's just a suggestion. If that will help, I'm sure it will help. But it's a little bit painful because even myself, I don't want to hear my voice. So it's weird when you see yourself, or hearing yourself. But this is just a suggestion and encouragement. All right.
If I'm elected for the second reading,
Yes.
deacon is not deacon there.
Yes.
What's the appropriate time to go to the altar for the
Okay, so good question. So again, as we mentioned before, so when you check in, right, when you check in the sacristy, usually you check in when you arrive, right? So you go and you sign up to the form that we've provided for you. So the sacristan at that time will be the one to really ask, the person who you can ask if there's a deacon, present. So pretty much the sacristan will tell you that information. If there's no deacon or if the deacon is coming. So if there's no deacon, again, as we mentioned, the second lector will be the one doing that. So the cue for him to get up is that the priest will say, after the homily, the priest will sit down for a little bit, for a moment, and then invite the congregation to to rise for the recitation or the creed. And so I would suggest the appropriate time to get ready, because at that time we're all standing. So once we're almost on that last paragraph of the creed, so that would be the cue to get ready. So and for me personally, what I do even is I give like a couple of seconds to just for you to get up. And once I see you reaching here, and even sometimes what I do is after my homily, I would bring and put the binder that for the prayers of the faithful. So when I see you here, then I'll start the introduction for the intercession. So, but again, for you just personally, I think the best cue for yourself is to, once we go to the last paragraph of the creed, you get ready to do that. Okay, so and nobody will tell you, hey, stop. All right, so you do that. And again, we will also reiterate this changes to our visiting priests so that they'll know also. They'll be brief for that. I think that's is there any more clarification on the lector's end of things? I think we're all, Peg.
Actually, when you sign in, and it shows each mass, and like for our mass,
Yeah.
it's always a question, are we gonna have a deacon if I'm elected too?
Yes.
Can't they, like, they'll say,
The deacon? Oh.
first one is always normally Father Jacob. But if there's gonna be a deacon, have it read at the same time when they're introducing or starting the mass off, our pastor, our mass for the deacon.
This is the announcement, right? The announcement? Yeah.
At that time, because and you already know in advance because you came.
Yeah, you checked in. Yes, correct.
But that way there's no question.
Oh, yes. So I think we've been doing that. We've been including that in our announcement also. So we would say our presider for this Mass is Missy. No, I'm just kidding. And Father Damien, and the deacon will be Deacon Mark or Deacon Paul. So yes, and just to kind of reiterate again, now that we will have also on our end, the clergy, the deacons will also be signing up a month or a couple months in advance, then we will know, so it's going to be included we have a calendar in the sacristy, which is the sacristans are the ones who checking that out, and so we will know for sure. Okay, I think that's the really the big things that we want to discuss with the lectors at the moment. All right, and again, all of these things will be typed and emailed to every minister so that everybody will be on the same page. Okay, so now we will go to the Eucharistic ministers. So the Eucharistic ministers, one of the biggest things actually that we will be introducing, and I know there's some clarifications and questions, in the course of time. It's the stations, communion stations. So the communion stations will be, we have basically, we have a priest, the deacon, and then we have Eucharistic minister 1 and minister 2, right? And then if need be, if there's a lot more people, especially, for example, if there's an overflow, we need one more going down, or also going to the pews, the ones that are can't move and receive communion. So at this moment, what we're trying to do is, because we're trying to figure out what's the best system. Here in St. Catharine's, we noticed and we observed in our experience that the best way to do it would be the priest here or the deacon here. So both in the middle will be the clergy. So deacon or priest or deacon. And then we have a minister here, and then the minister on the other side of the aisle here. So, and then the people actually, of course, with the coordination of the ushers, here in St. Catharine's, pretty much it's kind of set. People come in from the side, they come in and go, and then proceed to receive communion, and then we go and of course do the other pews. So what we want to emphasize is that there's going to be also on the minister's sign-up sheet or the sign-up online, we will also define over there the ministers. So for example, now we were going to call it like the A, B, C, D, right? So A, B, C, and D, all right? So the B and C would always be reserved for the clergy. So the A and D will be for the extraordinary ministers. So the reason we're doing that also is that one of the situations that we notice sometimes, and even for you, when we're here in the sanctuary and the priest giving out, the ciborium, sometimes people, some of our Eucharistic ministers will say, "Where are you going?" "I'm going over there. I'm going over there." So sometimes, there's a huddle going on here. And so, to make it more smoothly, we will have, for you to sign up. When you sign up for A, you know where you're going. You're going in the right, you're facing this on the right side. So you'll know right away. And then if you sign up for D, you're going here, you know where you're going right away. All right, Florence? Yes, so we're gonna I think we're gonna change that. We're gonna coordinate with, yes.
And the A and B then, those are the priests.
The
Only allowing 2 positions then for Eucharistic minister.
yes, correct.
At St. Margaret's, we always need 3. Because we never have a deacon at the 8 a.m. Mass, so we always need a Eucharistic minister.
Okay, so what's been happening actually also is that, so yes, I recognize that. Before I answer that, Kathy, you're raising your hand.
I was going to say, sometimes there's light overlay too, so shouldn't the priest and the deacon always be 1 and 2? Because they're always going to be present, and extraordinary ministers would be the extra.
Yeah.
3 and 4. Or B and D, like A and D should be the 2 people in the center. Because sometimes there can only be 2.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter why we're doing that. Okay, now.
So we decided, I think, at the meeting.
Yes.
Just so it's clear, it's like you're reading A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
If there is no deacon, we'll know that ahead of time now, and not right now. We'll know ahead of time. That'll already be populated in the system. So either that slot B or C will be available or it will not. Okay?
Yeah.
So if the deacon is not present, we'll know ahead of time. There could be 2 slots open. If there's no deacon, there will be 3 slots open.
Yes,
And
correct.
then Proud Advances at St. Margaret's will have that additional.
Additional, yeah.
That will go
So if need be, we will open up a slot for E, or actually, when the time comes, like, of course, like that's sometimes the reality is it's hard to predict also. Sometimes, you have a Sunday you think it's light, and then people coming in, maybe visitors, especially summertime. So the sacristan also will be the one to find. Mary Jo, it's going to be, your responsibility is going up and up and up. Yes, so, yes, so yes, we will put that, we will incorporate that situation, and actually we will have a game plan also whenever we have this extraordinary, situation. But in a way, we're trying to discuss like more of the normal, the regular thing. But definitely with that, if there's an extraordinary situation, especially on that end, the sacristan will be the one to kind of determine also to get an additional ministers if need be. So I think I think we've answered the question, right? Okay.
Also, C, it will always be the priest, so that's what we decided.
Okay.
C
Okay.
will be the priest, so that will be X'd out, you cannot sign up for C. So B would be the one that if a deacon is there, obviously you can't sign up. If that spot is open, it's available for you to sign up. I believe we'll be changing the system starting in January with those A, B, C, D
yes.
options. So it's not there now, but it will be in January.
Yeah.
We're gonna have markers on the floor where the EMs are going to stand.
Yes. So yeah, if everybody, I just want to reiterate what Tammy said and Natalie. So with the system, we will have that. We will coordinate with Diane and Florence. Actually, we've been very grateful for them to volunteering for that. So we will have that on the system, but also in reality, we will have also some markers so that just again to address the confusion, right? So you'll know where to go, and you stay on that spot. Okay. Same thing with St. Margaret. So we will have the spots for you where you go, where you're going to go, and even maybe we can do A, little thing, and then B, C, and D. So at least it will be more straightforward, and everybody will get it. Okay. Yeah. So just to kind of like heads up also, there's a little bit variation in St. Margaret's because of course it's a little bit of a different architecture there. So with St. Margaret, we used to be, we go so two here, right? Two here, and then there's a break. If you remember the structure of St. Margaret, there's a break, and then we have two ministers also in the middle of the aisle there in the break. But as we know, one of the things that's you will notice that it's a Catholic church is that the front is empty, the back is full. So right away you'll say, oh, that's a Catholic church. So the congestion happens at the back actually. So we've noticed that the priest and then another the deacon or another minister were done distributing communion. In the meantime, at the back there's still a lot of people going on. So that's why we're trying to change that also, to streamline everything and to make it easier for everybody. So with St. Margaret, what we're going to do is slightly different. Instead of on this side, and again, we're going to mark it, you're going to be going, so the pew, this is of course a longer pew, a longer diameter here, and you're going to be on the middle of it, and then you're facing like that. So Tammy and where I am, that will be the A, and there'll be the D. The B and the C will be in the middle, okay? So that there'll be a space for people to pivot in a way and then go around. Okay, so that's the thing, because sometimes also we've tried, I think this past weekend we've tried, the formation, same format here in St. Catharine's, but it didn't work because over there, if you're facing the altar, on the left side, as you remember, there's a piano there. And sometimes even for the 10 o'clock, we will have some musicians, and then the young musicians will be there playing their instruments. So sometimes it gets crowded a little bit over there. So that's why we're deciding at this moment because we've tried it. We've tried in the 4 o'clock, it didn't work, but 10 o'clock, we tried on the middle by the pew, and it worked. So that's going to be our format over there. And again, it will be marked, and you will not be confused where to go. Okay? And also, I just want to also reiterate, again, same thing, starting from the rear of the church, and then again, with the coordination, the ushers will be also helping us with this situation. They'll be directing the traffic, starting from the back, and then go for the front, okay? So that's going to be the flow. And again, we'll also, once we do these changes, especially for the communion stations, we will include this maybe a couple of Sundays, include it in our announcement, also at the flock notes, and then within the ministers, we'll disseminate this information so everybody will be on the same page, and we'll give enough time for the change to adjust, okay? The other thing for, yeah, with the ushers. Oh yeah, I guess.
So at St. Margaret's especially, I guess here sometimes there's overflow in the basement.
Yeah, not. So the overflow.
So they would be in charge of checking.
Oh, the ushers, yes,
Prior to these, they would check downstairs.
yes,
Probably at the offertory would be a good time to go down and check if there are people downstairs in Duffy Hall.
yeah,
Then they would inform them to stay where they are, and there will be a Eucharistic minister that will bring communion downstairs for them.
yes, and actually,
That would be the additional Eucharistic minister needed at those masses.
yes. So
They aren't going to come up and join.
in reality, 4 o'clock we get a little bit of crowd downstairs. 8 o'clock, I think, not really. Here for the 9 o'clock, it's hit or miss. There's some Sundays that we have extra people downstairs. Sometimes, most of the time, we don't have. Also with the 12, I think with the 12 we're missing. Yeah, and Anita there. So we don't have everybody. Now that we're here on the main church, we don't really get a lot of people downstairs, right? Okay. Oh, we do. Okay, so we do that also. Okay, all right. Okay, so I think we will coordinate also with the ushers, and I know we have the team, the usher team also. We will be kind of like coordinating with them, and with Natalie's point that, for the ushers, that's going to be added to your kind of like role to check downstairs, like maybe offertory, and there's going to be a time like that will be the plenty of time for people to arrive, and I think at that point, there's nobody latecomers coming in, so it's safe to say. So, but we're also going to be, as I mentioned a while ago, we will have, we'll be providing the minister to go again for the infirm, right? So we're going to, and it will be included also in the announcement, as we will change that. So we will also announce, as we announce the formation of the communion, it'll starting from the back and then to the front. And then also we will add to those who are not able to stand or have some trouble for movement, that a minister don't move, and a minister will be going and give you communion. So that will be our yeah, so the ushers, that's going to be the role of the usher to let the minister know that they'll be going and receiving that. So what's going to happen really is we'll let the whole congregation receive first, and then for those who are infirm that cannot move, then we'll go there for them. Oh, sorry. To the choir, okay, yes. And that's a good point. Thank you for that. And actually, with Billy, we will be coordinating what will be the masses, that we will have choir also. And I think at the moment, Bill, it's 10 o'clock is the one that, we have the choir, And actually the sacristan, as was informed. The sacristan will be the one to take care of that, to get the communion for them. So yes, so we will include the choir for the calendar. So yeah, so I just got informed by Billy, which is, I think, it's very helpful. So another information there on the calendar will be for the choir, so that the sacristan will know also that there's a choir present and they need communion for that also. Bob?
How do we know when to set up the live stream downstairs?
Okay, so the question is, of course, both churches has the overflow, and the St. Margaret's, there's the Duffy Hall, and then, of course, here, St. Catharine's, there's the chapel. So for St. Margaret's, I believe it's always on. Once we turn on everything, it's on, right? So for the St. Catharine's, that's the one that we really have to turn it on. There's actually, this is more concern for the sacristan, right? So the sacristan are the ones who also gets the call or make the call if they're opening, the downstairs. So in my experience, most of the time, it's within the summer season that we use especially the chapel. Other than that, I think pretty much we're all kind of like accommodated in the main church. But yes. Okay, the 12. Okay, so you know what? Maybe I could also maybe suggest us to just open it up as we prepare the sacristy for the sacristans. Then open up the chapel then, so that we'll be able to have it's ready for them, and then you kind of just turn it off after the mass, if that's okay. That we're going to do that. So I think it will be easier instead of guessing, trying to see if there's a need or no need. We'll just open it up. Okay. Anita?
We were just discussing mine.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is for the downstairs mass, which was true for the summer, we always had people.
Yes.
That we thought that was going to taper off.
Yes.
So on that sign-in sheet, I usually note on the bottom, full capacity, 2 dozen standing, and how many are downstairs.
Okay.
And I note that on the bottom so you could see.
Okay.
That, it ranges from 10 to 20, last week was 30.
Yeah.
So we've been consistently keeping that on, which is surprising. And what would help is if on the announcements, they say to the people downstairs
Okay.
that we will be coming down for the offering and,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll do that, and then and the actually we will just announce what we're going to do is for those who are downstairs at the chapel, that we will be coming down for you. So we will include that. So Nat, yes.
So that's when the ushers are going to come in before the offertory to go downstairs to see how many people you do have as an overflow, because your mass you usually do have a large overflow. And then you'll tell them downstairs at that time that we'll have someone come down to you. Okay. So that'll be the usher's responsibility to make sure that they
Yeah.
know that we'll come down to that. That's a little note for us.
Yeah. Yes, we have. Sorry, I didn't get your name. What was your name again? Cindy. Okay.
One question I have to, not a question, but a suggestion.
Okay. Yes.
Is that there's a lot of people standing
Okay.
in a lot of, especially the 9 o'clock, sometimes the 10.
Yes.
They're standing. Can somebody say there are seats downstairs, and then that's when they can mention about going down with the Eucharist? I mean,
Yeah. You
if they're standing and
Yes.
they don't go downstairs.
Yes.
And I don't know, would that
Yeah.
be something?
So the suggestion is that we kind of like announce that also. So actually, we have the sign here. Yes.
They want to stand upstairs, they don't want to go downstairs. The broadcast is bad, it's very light because the lights won't shut off over the screen. They just want to stay
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel bad for the parents that have babies. There's lots of babies in the wings.
Yeah. So, yeah. 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 Thank you for that suggestion. But yes, that's true also. Sometimes, in my experience, especially for the 9 o'clock Mass, once we're filled up here, the ushers are very good in letting the people know, by the way, we have space downstairs. There's the pews there, and the live stream is also there. And then, of course, that's the time that they also tell them that there's going to be some ministers coming down.
It's really kind of shocking how many people refuse.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the human human characteristics that they do what they want to do. The bishop's new motto, actually, he told me, it's like, what are you going to do? But we appreciate that, wonderful suggestion. Lynn? Okay. Yes, Nat will address that.
This one does the books, the announcements that you read all of your announcements out of. Those are filled out. The office closes at 12 on Fridays, so she does those on Friday morning. So whoever signed up by Friday morning, she fills those books out, and they come over to the church that day. So we know that sometimes things come up and people need substitutes at the last minute. So that's when there's issues, that maybe the names don't match up on the sign-up sheets. But
Okay.
the books are filled out there, so if you can sign up by Thursday, that's preferred, but we know that sometimes that's not possible.
Okay.
So of course, if there are openings, we encourage you to sign up still, but just know that's when those books are printed that are read at each Mass.
Okay, so if we can just, suggest again in general that by Thursday. Okay.
One of the problems with that is when I go into the sacristy on a Sunday morning and I look at the 10 o'clock Mass, and they've been getting printed out on before the Thursday for that list. So if nobody signed up, now I go and I get a Eucharistic minister, a lector, whoever I need to fill that Mass. Now someone comes in at 5 of 10 and says, oh, I signed up. Now we have people coming up.
Okay. I think just for everybody's, again, system that we can build here is that maybe, as Nat have said, maybe by Wednesday could be Wednesday could be the perfect time to sign up, so that Melissa, our secretary who does the sign-up sheet, prepares actually by Thursday and then finalize it on Friday. So at least she will have also the time to do that. So at least you'll know that once you sign up on Wednesday, then everything will be on the sheet. Okay?
Did we discuss sending a reminder? What day was that?
I think Wednesday actually. Wednesday, yeah.
If I'm conscientious.
Yes.
I don't have plans for Sunday, so now I go and I look and I see that there are ministers, so now I go and I sign up. So
Yeah.
somebody's there.
Okay.
I mean, it's no big deal because
Yeah.
I get there early and I go in and the sacristan knows.
Yeah.
Last minute, there might be some bumps in the road.
Yeah, I think, that's just the, yeah. Yeah, so I think the suggestion, okay, all right.
I don't know, you want to continue that thought, but I have one more thing.
Yeah, I just want to, again, so for everybody's kind of like, I guess, to make that system also within yourself, that maybe we can, try to commit by Wednesday, we'll be able to sign up, so that, with the weekend coming up, everything will be, your name will be on the sheet, and there's going to be less kind of a complication there. Okay, so maybe Wednesday would be the agreeable time that we do. Okay, if that's okay.
With the infirmed people that are in the front row. At Margaret's, we're going to have the A and the D Eucharistic ministers distribute communion to the infirmed first, before you go to your spots.
And then that's the ones that are going to be in the front pews, right?
Right, the ones in the front pews, okay?
Okay.
And then here also. that you would do that, and then you would go to your pillar here, or to halfway down the pew.
At St. Margaret's. And then the ones that are not going to be in the first pew, after the whole congregation receives, then those ministers again, directed by the ushers, will go to the respected pews where the infirm are.
Especially at Margaret's, we know a lot of them sit at the break.
Yes.
In those front rows, so they'll know to go.
Yeah, and I think as we will put a reservation here in the first two pews in St. Catherine's for the infirm, the St. Margaret's also will reserve that first two pews for the infirm, and then the first pew in the break. So we'll have that also, the signage there, that for the infirm people. Okay, so Paul, I'm so sorry. From the back, yes. Yeah, so I think with St. Catherine's, they start usually on the side, right? So the side, so the pews there will go, the people then come in, and then after that, it's going to be from the back on the center aisle, and then come in, and the last, ones will receive, usually it's like the pews here. And then, so that's going to be the flow of our communion procession in a way. St. Margaret, because there's no side pews, what we're going to do is to also again announce that we're going to ask the people from the rear end to start coming in, and that's going to be the thing. So that's going to be a little bit of a variation from St. Margaret's to St. Catherine's, but basically, it's going to be the outside first before the inside. Yes.
Just to go back to our ministry sign up of when it is on Wednesday, 11. If the EMs and electors, if you could, I know our lives are very busy, but if we're here 15 minutes beforehand, then our sacristans will know if we have need for an EM or elector. And then let's just say, if we're closed or you haven't signed up yet, or you're going to sign up late but we didn't get the notice of it, so if you just knock on the sacristan door and say, hey, I noticed on Wednesday or Thursday or even Friday or Saturday that there wasn't an EM, but I'm available, I did sign up unless, you already had somebody on here. It's just kind of like all of us kind of working together, and then I know sometimes we're running late, and then if the sacristan doesn't know that you're here, we just don't want you to get upset, because we always just want everything to go smoothly, and
Yeah,
I think that would
definitely.
be a little bit better if you just
Yeah,
knock on the door and say, I noticed that we didn't have one as of Friday or Saturday, but I'm here. And then this
Yeah.
way our sacristans will know if the ones that the EMs or electors that did sign up are here, then we're good to go. We can
Yes.
say yes or no.
Yeah, and yes, that's a very good point. And again, on the worst side of things, if nobody's here, at least if you kind of like notice that also, as a minister, you could always kind of like, come up to the sacristan and said, by the way, if you need, help, just, let me know and I'll be able to do that. So I think that will be our system there. So I think everybody's kind of clear on that. And again, we'll send it, bullet points, all the things that we've talked about on the email, okay? So another thing, thank you, ladies. The other thing that we observe also, and there's a lot of confusion, is the pyx. So the pyx, where the host or the body of Christ, for those who are ministering homebound, ministering to our facilities like the nursing homes around us. So I believe we have 5 nursing homes that we in our territory and our boundaries. So we do that. And also some people have their own, like their family members or loved ones that they minister to. So just also to know, if you, for example, if your spouse is ill and cannot do that, you don't have to be a Eucharistic minister to bring him or her communion, okay? So if you have a spouse that is ill and cannot do receive communion, you may be able to do that for your husband or wife or a mother. So you just have to have a pyx, and if you don't have a pyx, usually we have an extra one to lend to you, and you'll be able to do that. So there's two things. There's a confusion. Some, I know when I got here, there's a practice where, this is specifically a 9 o'clock Mass, they come in the beginning, they, give the picks, and then they say, 1 or 2 hosts, and then the sacristan comes in and do that. And so Father Damien wants to kind of like, put a system on that. So instead of like, traffic in the sacristy, in and out and things like that, we will want to avoid that. So what's going to happen is that the only picks that's coming in prior to Mass will be 2 kinds. First will be the gluten-free host. So the gluten-free host, so that needs to be in the beginning because it needs to be consecrated. All right, so you'll be able to do that. You come into the sacristy, you knock, you come into the sacristy and say, gluten-free, here's the thing. And also, just for everybody to know, we do not provide a gluten-free host. I know there's some question on that, but here's the point at Father Damien, and I kind of agree with that. So, different people have different tolerance. And if we're providing the host, the gluten-free host, and then suddenly they have a reaction, that's going to be on us. So what we suggest is that for those who have gluten-free issues and problems, that they should provide their order, the specific ones that for them, and they bring it. If they need the picks, we'll we'll lend them the picks. We will accommodate them for that. Okay, so that's the reasoning for them to bring their own gluten-free host. The other picks that will come in also before the Mass will be the bulk host. I know we have some people that goes to, especially on Sundays, they go to the facilities, Brandywine, Wellington Estate, Sunrise. So they have the picks, and they have 10 or more will be coming in before the Mass. Because the reason for that also is that we need to count, and sometimes it will take time, or there's going to be more things that will happen in terms of that. So it's better to have that there. So 10 or more. If you have a pix that needs 10 or more, you come into the sacristy, knock on the door, let the sacristan, inform the sacristan, and the sacristan will take care of it. Okay? So those are the only 2 pix that will come in before the Mass. Now, on the regular situations, if you have a pix that has 1 to 9, you will come up, as per Father Damien's suggestion and encouragement, you will come up right after communion. I know there's a little bit of a confusion also, the post-communion, but to just address that everything, so it's going to be after communion. So when everybody received, everybody went to the pew, those who have the pix can come up, and then you'll be able to go here on the side of the sanctuary. And then at the time, if there's a deacon, you approach the deacon and you say, "Deacon, I need 1. Deacon, I need 2. So the deacon will be the one to help you out in getting those hosts to bring to your loved ones, or to bring to the to the relative. So and then you can, once everybody gets the host that they need, they'll be able to go back to their pews, and at this time you will stay until the end of the Mass, and you will be dismissed, as the whole congregation will be dismissed. The question on that, I know there's some people who have pointed out that, Father, there is a dismissal, that once you get the pix and you get the host, you immediately leave. Yes, there's truth to that. And some other parishes, we kind of we have actually there's a prayer that for the ministers that they give the blessing, and they're dismissed, and right away they leave and go to the people that they're bringing communion to. But Father Damien have suggested, just for the sake of making it easier for people, because I know some situations where you're driving with another person, and so you can stay. You may stay. So that's not a liturgical violation. So I just want to make clear of that. So you may stay, and you'll be dismissed with the general